I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine pouring your soul into a home brick by brick year after year, until it feels less like a house and more like your heartbeat. And then one evening at the dinner table, the very people you call family look you in the eye and tell you it's no longer yours. That was the night my world shattered. My name is Elena, I'm 31, and until a few months ago I thought I knew what family meant. I thought sacrifice was rewarded with love, loyalty, maybe even gratitude. But in that moment, when my mother slammed her fork against the table and said, "Pack your things, you've got 48 hours. This house belongs to your sister now," I realized how wrong I was. My father didn't defend me. He just kept chewing, eyes locked on his plate. And my sister? The one who'd lived 3 time zones away for years, calling maybe on birthdays? She smirked. She didn't lift a finger for this home, but suddenly it was hers. I sat there in silence, my chest burning, and thought, after everything I've given, this is how they erase me? That night, while they laughed over dessert, I walked quietly to my room. My hands shook as I locked the door. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. Instead, I opened my laptop and started planning. They thought I'd vanish. They thought I'd leave quietly. They had no idea what I was capable of. And before I go on, tell me something. What time is it where you are right now? And what city are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I want to see how far this story reaches. The truth is, this house wasn't just walls and floors. It was a battlefield I'd already bled for. When my parents' finances collapsed 5 years ago, they were drowning. The bank was calling, foreclosure looming. I was the one who stepped up. With my software job, I drained my savings, worked overtime, and wired $80,000 to keep the roof over our heads. I didn't hesitate, not once. I still remember that night. My father at the kitchen table, his hands covering his face, papers scattered like fallen leaves. My mother pacing, whispering, "We're going to lose everything." And me shoving down my fear and saying, "No, we're not." Every coat of paint, every repaired stair, every dollar of my paycheck, those weren't chores. They were promises. Promises to protect the people I loved. And where was my sister Ava? Out in California, bragging about her marketing job, too busy to care. When I told her about the mortgage, she laughed. "That's your thing, Elena." That was the level of her contribution, mockery. But I kept building. I told myself I was holding us together. That someday my parents would see me. That this house, my house, was proof that I mattered. I should have noticed the shift. The way my parents' voices softened when they spoke to Ava on the phone. The way my father lit up when he mentioned her success. The silence when I shared my own. But I ignored it. Because who wants to believe their own family is sharpening the knife? That dinner was the blade finally cutting deep. Their decision wasn't just betrayal. It was theft. They weren't just giving Ava a house. They were erasing me. So I called the only person I trusted. Naomi, my best friend since college, now a lawyer with sharper instincts than anyone I know. I spilled everything, the ultimatum, the silence of my father, the smug smile on Ava's face. Naomi listened, then asked one question. "Do you have paperwork? Anything legal tying you to the house?" I froze. Then I remembered my grandfather. He'd built this place with his own hands, brick by brick. Before he died, he told me, "Elena, this home will always be yours." At the time, I thought it was just affection. But Naomi's voice tightened. "Give me an hour. I'll dig." That was the longest hour of my life. I paced the hallway, touching the walls I'd painted, the floors I'd repaired, wondering if I'd ever walk them again. Then my phone rang. Naomi's voice was urgent. "Elena, listen carefully. Your grandfather left a will. It names you, and only you, as the heir to this house. It's notarized. It's filed. And your parents knew." Her words hit harder than any betrayal before. My parents hadn't just chosen Ava. They'd hidden the truth, letting me sink years of savings into a home that was already mine by right. That was the turning point. I wasn't just fighting for walls and furniture anymore. I was fighting for my dignity, my grandfather's promise, my stolen legacy. The next 48 hours were chaos. Calls to movers, tagging every piece of furniture I had paid for, dragging receipts from drawers. Neighbors stopped by, confused, worried. One of them, Mr. Lewis, who'd fished with my grandfather, said softly, "This place meant everything to him. And to you too." I couldn't speak. I just nodded, holding back tears. When Ava finally arrived, suitcase in hand, expecting to step into a fully furnished house, she found bare walls. Her face twisted with rage. "What the hell did you do?" she spat. I stood calm, arms folded. "I took what's mine. You can decorate your own house, Ava." She laughed bitterly. "Mom and Dad said this is mine. You don't get to strip it." I leaned closer, voice steady but cold. "Every couch, every TV, every washer, you didn't pay for a thing. You walked into a life you never earned. And I'm done giving." Her mask cracked. She screamed into her phone, calling our mother, demanding backup. But it was too late. The ground beneath them had already shifted. Because Naomi had moved faster than anyone expected. She enforced the will, exposed the lies, and within weeks, the house wasn't in my parents' hands or Ava's. It was mine. And then by my choice it was sold. Legally. Permanently. To someone outside the family. The night my parents realized, my phone rang nonstop. My father's voice thundered. "We were protecting the family." I cut him off. "No. You were protecting Ava. You betrayed me. The will was clear, and you buried it." My mother begged. "Elena, you're tearing us apart. Fix this." I whispered, cold as stone. "I'm done fixing your mistakes." And I hung up. Months later, I stood in my own apartment downtown. Sunlight spilling across the sofa I'd fought to keep. No ghosts, no lies. Just me. For the first time in my life, I felt free. My parents? Word spread. Everyone learned what they'd hidden. Their reputation crumbled. Ava? She had to buy her own house in California. Something she thought she'd never have to do. That wasn't revenge. That was balance. And me? I learned the hardest, most important lesson of all. Family isn't always who shares your blood. Sometimes, family are the people who stand beside you when the world caves in. Like Naomi. Like neighbors who saw me when my parents didn't. So, if you've ever given your everything to people who only took, hear me, your worth isn't in their approval. It's in the moment you finally say, enough. I choose me. Tell me. Have you ever had to walk away from someone you thought would never betray you? Drop your story in the comments. I want to read every single one.